quiet embrace of nature, we discover not just the thrill of the hunt, but the profound harmony of our souls with the world around us. Memories don't just happen anywhere. They're made at Hapgood Ranch.
Well, the boys got themselves some sleep here in Clay County, Texas, and it's officially day 2 here on Hapgood Ranch. We're going to switch it over to Patrick real quick and hear a recap on what happened on day 1.
So we had a pretty short drive down to Clay County, 2024 Turkey Fest. What a blast. But we had to get on the road. We got on the road early that day and heading down. It's always an adventure with Nick and Will in the truck with us. So we get down to Clay County and we're a little late getting in due to stops and traffic. So we go straight to the venue banquet that night. Of course, the food was great. They had fresh fried fish, ready to go. But us guys went straight for the dessert first because there was no line for that. So we got our pie and cake, then we had fish, which was really good. And later that night we head on to Hapgood Ranch where we met David, our guide for the weekend. David, nothing but great things to say about him. True gentleman, class act. He knows how to hang with the big boys. But we got down there with Wilderness Outdoors, met the guys, had a great time getting to know each other. But we had to call it an early night because we had an early start the next morning. So we had to have an early start day 1 to get out there, get to our blinds and get on the birds. I'm up at 4 a.m. Of course, Nick gets up about 4:30. Will has the alarm from hell that gets everybody up at 5, mainly because Will didn't get up to his alarm. But we get on the birds and the 3 of us stuck together, birds of a feather, to try to get on these birds. And let me tell you, when they say they got birds, they got birds. You could be a horrible caller like me and see right here where I'm calling in about 6 gobblers at one time. There was birds everywhere. The unfortunate part was the birds were set up behind us and they were getting hung up behind us. So we were able to call 2 in, but couldn't get a clear shot because we didn't set up right on the thicket. We had our decoys placed right in front of us, off to the side, in front of Will and Nick. I unfortunately had to sit out of the blind because of space, but I really don't complain. When you're sitting in a blind with Will, it's an awful experience sometimes. So we get these 2 toms that come in and they just kind of cut across the field. They seen the decoy, but by then we were already spotted, so they kept on moving. But that's okay. We know where the birds are. We know where to re-strategize and set up differently in the afternoon.
The boys head back to the cabin to catch some breakfast, get a little rest, and head back on out for the afternoon hunt.
So this afternoon we go out, still day 1, and we set up our decoys a little differently. We angle our blind, but unfortunately, the birds aren't in this travel pattern in the afternoon. So we saw just about nothing. Other than the raccoon we saw in the morning before the birds, it was pretty uneventful, but that's hunting. And that's the challenge and the beauty of being in the outdoors. So day 2 that morning, we decide we're gonna take that same spot that we hunted the previous morning, but we're gonna fan out and cover the whole trail where we know they're cutting through the area. So we spread out. Nick and Will take the south end, I take the north end, and we proceed to start calling the birds. Of course, luck have it, they cut around behind us and walked off to the other side of the creek. What are you gonna do? I'm not the best caller, but let it be known I've never killed a turkey up until this point.
The boys are on a time crunch. They need to get themselves a bird to turn in for weigh-in. Maybe trying out a new location could be their best interest.
So this afternoon, Nick and I decide to cover more territory. Will, Nick, and I split off. Nick and I go to a box blind. Will goes off with one of the guys from Wilderness. And we decide to try our luck in 2 different spots. So Nick and I set up in the box blind. We start chit-chatting, and with a matter of few minutes, a hen comes in, starts taking a dirt bath just beyond our decoys. You'll see her back there past the decoys. We get a little excited, but we just stay put. We don't call, we just stay patient for the afternoon. Within a matter of about 30 seconds from there, these 3 toms come walking in from our left. One was a borderline Jake, but when you have 3 of them, there's no complaining. Nick immediately spots them. He signals to me, they're right next to us. And of course I peek, and they were within about 5 feet of our blind. So we set up, Nick gets his camera ready, and we were waiting, and I thought, well, I've never got a turkey. I could easily get 3, but how cool would it be just to get 3 in one shot? And you'll see from this angle, patience was one of my virtues when it comes to hunting. And we let them all line up. And just when the time was right, we let them have it. Not only did we kill the first one, we severely got the second one, which obviously now it's time to put him down. As we shoot the second bird, the third one comes back in and decides he wants to start fighting. So he starts fighting the second bird, and it just made it a clean opportunity. And just like that, 26 seconds, we had 3 birds on the ground. Never done before at Hapgood Ranch. We were so excited, we didn't know what to do. Obviously in this territory of Texas, you have a 4 bird limit, and we had 3 Rios all in one hunt in 26 seconds. It was amazing. But now it's time to head back to the ranch so we can start getting these birds prepped for weigh-in.
Next step is to get the birds back at the cabin, fill out the tags, get them in the cooler, and get them prepped for weigh-in. Now that the boys got their birds tagged and in the cooler, it's time to head to Town Square for the weigh-in. Now that it's all said and done and the boys got their birds and their weigh-ins, it's time to bring it on home and see what all the boys think about the whole trip.
So what'd you think, Nick?
I think that it was an overall awesome time. Trip down was fun, always with you guys. Once we got there, met some really great people, the guys from Wilderness Outdoors, super awesome guys, and had some good food, honestly.
Let's not forget David.
Let's not forget David. David was a heck of a host.
I'd say he was probably one of the best we've ever had.
Absolutely.
For sure. Will, what was your take on it?
I mean, the drive was okay. I don't like that long in a car.
You don't drive much.
No. But I mean, getting there, meeting David, meeting Steven and Clayton and Justin for the first time in person was pretty cool. 'Cause I'm not a huge turkey hunter, so there was a lot of stuff that I needed catching up on, and I've never hunted a Rio.
And Clay's a heck of a caller, too.
Absolutely. I got lucky with him twice, and teaching us kind of different things and better calls and stuff like that. But I just had a good time. I mean, overall it was good, but knowing that you had not harvested one
ever,
and then getting that text
ranch
while
record,
we were over there. I was looking at a coyote and getting that text, we got 3. It's like, yes. Like I was excited for you. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it. It was bad, but Nick cooked breakfast one of the days.
I do, yeah.
I did.
It took like 2 hours.
He was FaceTiming while stirring the eggs,
Yeah.
and then I think I took over the last 3 minutes or so.
I just sat there smelling it. I mean, that's
The food, or
yeah. Yeah. Everything. Well, there's a lot of guys in the same house. A lot of guys sleeping in the same room. There were lots of smells.
yeah, there was lots of smells.
And lots of snores.
You were gonna say something?
I was just going to say that I think I had just as much of the fever as you did in the blind when you got those kills.
It was pretty intense.
It was so intense.
But the time we spent there, whether it was at the lodge, it kind of reminds me of our old podcast, but the song that came to mind was Larry Fleet's Where I Found God.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're sitting out there in the hayfield, and not only do we harvest the turkeys, but the brotherhood with the guys from Wilderness Outdoors, David from Hapgood Ranch, and the guests that came and visited that night. Because remember, we had the communal dinner on the second night.
Supper for everybody.
And, man, that's a brotherhood you just don't forget. So, I mean, what an honor to be invited down. Of course, they're moving us to the pro category next year.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that, but I guess when you get 3 birds that quick, they're like, you're moving up. So
We'll get loud.
I think we'll make a splash.
Yeah, I think so.
Some of us make bigger splashes.
That's a fact, Jack.
But no, it was, man.
It's just awesome.
Such a good trip.
I mean, we're blessed. We get to do a lot of trips, but that trip by far, it's really hard to describe in words when you have such a good crew. You go to hunts and there's always that one guy that just doesn't shut up or leaves his crap laying out or doesn't follow safety rules. There's always that one guy. We didn't have that on this trip. And if it was us. Because
well, that's fair.
Yeah.
we didn't see it in anyone, and but we were amongst professionals, and I think everybody felt that way. And even though I never killed a turkey, I've obviously hunted all over the world, as you have too. And it's just, man, what a great group. And David as a host and the rancher at Hapgood, 5-star. I mean, hands down, he knew his stuff. He knew where to put you. He made sure everybody was comfortable. Accommodations for everything, whether it was hanging your bird, getting it cold, taking care of it, the processing, the table, the setup, everything they had was 100% what you need. May not be what you want, but it's one of those ranches that have what you need. Oh yeah, there's a lot of what you want, but there not often do you go to a ranch that has everything you need. You might get there and be like, oh, I harvested, but now you got to hurry up and process it, throw it in a cooler. But no, they've got the hangers up there in the walk-in, the clean tables, and the easy wash down. You can process it yourself, which we did because we like doing that. And you got some good footage of that. We had a heck of a supper the second night. We had the shrimp boil, and of course there was rattlesnake. If you were there early enough, they had rattlesnake over at the processing side, and a lot of people had rattlesnake for the first time. But we did. One of the things that didn't get mentioned is the second day of the hunt, during the break between hunts, is that we actually went out looking for rattlesnakes for the roundup. And there was a den that David knew about. Unfortunately, we got to the den. Now, of course, we all messed with each other getting to this den. You know, making
Clayton wouldn't get out.
Poking legs with sticks.
He wouldn't get out.
But Clayton didn't get out of the side-by-side. I can't say I blame him if you're not new to that stuff, or you are new to that stuff. But man, it was wild. But the den was empty. Well, we think it was empty.
I didn't see one.
He saw, well, one guy said he saw one in the back.
We couldn't get it coaxed out.
It wasn't David. It was Justin. Yeah, he thought he saw one in the back. He was trying to grab it. It got too far up in the rock. We couldn't get it. But even with that, we'll call it a non-success. But I mean, we had a great time. But we still got to see other cool stuff. We saw old Indian ruins. We saw burial grounds from back during the colonial days when they were moving out west. Just a lot of history and beauty from that spring that was coming up out of the ground in the rock formation, all the way to the burial site up above where the settlers, you know, if you died on the trail, they had to bury your family member right there riverside, and that pile of stones is still there. I mean, just history, beauty, wildlife, and fellowship.
Yeah,
I think that sums it up.
That's what you get with responsible, ethical outdoorsman. You won't find somebody that cares more or knows more about the animals and their care than ranchers, than outdoorsmen. You know, not hunters just going out to shoot something and see what happens. But David knows where all the animals are.
Yep.
Because they ride that ranch.
Yep.
He knows where the cows are because he rides that ranch.
Yep.
Knows every animal on the ranch.
And those Red Angus Wagyu cows.
They look delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, just hair and all. And
I think you got to give one a high five, didn't you?
I tried. They're faster than they look. All right, and Steven definitely tried. I think that's going to be.
Do we have that
subscription only? Oh, I have it. I have one. Absolutely.
That might have to be on the subscription.
So
page.
get ready, Steven. No, but it was being around people that actually care and aren't just showing up for the money or for whatever it is. Knowing that the guy beside you cares just as much, maybe more than you do.
But even more important, the Clay County Turkey Fest was a fundraiser.
Absolutely.
And helping kids, conservation, the outdoors at a local level. They're doing it right. There was so many teams there, a lot of veteran groups.
Yeah, there was.
We got to meet those guys.
Yeah, Gordon Melton with Hunting with Soldiers.
It was a 5-star event.
It was awesome.
We look forward to going to it next year. But more importantly, we've got more adventures coming. So you're not going to want to miss these other episodes. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
no matter what, you got to do it.
Got her! Go get them!
She fixing to get the bucking.
Boy, she thick. Thick. And you can slap out, David.
She run her off in the pond.
Y'all really similar.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to join, subscribe, and like this video. If you join our membership, there's lots of perks and benefits to our community membership. You get
great discounts on things. You get early access to videos that haven't even come out yet. So go ahead and check that out. But thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the blind.